Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good evening, everyone. Today, I'm going to give a Dhamma talk based on mental factors. Not all the mental factors. Today I'm going to explain about only one mental factor. How can we handle and how to overcome this mental factor? In the topic you could see that how to use Abhidhamma in our daily life. Within one session, we are not able to discuss all the mental factors. Let's try to understand mental factors and how to handle and how to overcome them. In this lecture, I would like to separate few sections. Number one, first we have to understand the characteristics of those mental factors. Especially, I have given hatred, but there are some other mental factors connected with hatred or dosa in Pali. Then there are two levels explained by Abhidhamma scholars, the gross level and the subtle level. It's very easy to understand, it's evident, the gross level, but it's very difficult to understand its subtle level. I have seen those subtle levels are explained by only a few Abhidhamma scholars. For example, Lady Yadav and one of Sri Lankan Abhidhamma scholars, Chandamela Mahathera. Those scholars have clarified those subtle natures. Then how to overcome those gross and subtle natures in our daily life. Within one session, let's try to understand those natures and according to Visuddhimagga and some other teachings. So here I will try to point out some other texts such as Bhagavad Gita and some teachings, especially given in psychology, modern psychology. But lecture mainly based on Theravada Buddhist teaching. But I want to highlight that not only Buddhist teachings, but also these unwholesome mental factors are explained in other texts. First, let's try to understand characteristics or the natures of dosa. The scholars have given many terms, so they have translated this dosa term as hatred and aversion, ill will, anger, irritation, annoyance, animosity. Those are the terms given by Buddhist scholars. And also, depression and sorrow are some moods of dosa or hatred. Let's try to understand with some similes. You have seen when we hit a snake with a stone or stick, what happened? It turns back and try to bite that person or stick Similarly, when anger or hatred arise in our mind, what happened? Our pure nature changed into unpure nature. It's like a spoiling fruit. Suppose when you have a ripened mango or banana, you can eat it. But after some days, it becomes spoiled. Then it has bad smell. Similarly, when we have good emotions, positive emotions, our mind is like ripened fruit. It has good smell. When those of hatred arise in our mind, it becomes a spoil, or its natural nature change like a snake. Also, some scholars has mentioned that it's like a poison in the water. When you put poison into the water, it spreads. Similarly, when anger arises in our mind, if you pay attention mindfully, you feel it spreads. First, it spreads in our mind and it affects our body. And it's like a fire. Given in the commentary, dosa or anger, hatred is like a fire. It's compared to fire. Similarly, when anger arises in our mind, it burns our mind as well as our body. Suppose when someone gets anger, first it arises in a beginning level, initial level, just it feels hurt, him or her. Then his or her face become reddish or black. What happens next? Sometimes bad words come out from his or her mouth. Speaks out bad or filthy words. In the next level, he or she hits someone or make quarrels with each other. At the end, it becomes fight. Understand this nature with these similes. It's like a snake. It's like a poison. It's like a fire. That's why when anger arises in our mind, there is a saying in some countries, even in Sri Lanka, it's like a demon. So this demon inherited in our mind. Therefore, we are controlling this nature. As an ordinary person, those arise in our mind. But what should be done? We should try to control it. We should try to overcome it. We should try to handle it. Let's discuss with some examples with a gross level and subtle level later on. Then, what is the proximate cause for the hatred? In Abhidhamma, it said that ground for annoyance. There are 10 reasons given in the Abhidhamma Dhamma Sangani and also commentary. When There's a message. Let me check. Okay. For example, you think someone has done bad things, evil things to you in the past. When you think about those bad things, then those arise in your mind. Also, someone is disturbing you in the present. When you think, those arise in your mind. Also, you think that he or she will disturb me. He or she will hurt me. When you think those disturbances concerning your future, those arise in your mind. Similarly, you think that someone made some disturbances to my parents, my relatives, my friends in the past. You think about those past memories, those may arise in your mind in the present moment, as well as thinking in the future. He or she will hurt my friends, or my relatives, my parents, my children. Then those arise in your mind. First, we should understand the dosa and what are the reasons of the dosa. On the other hand, you may think someone has supported to your opponent or your enemy. Then you can't bear up it. What happens? Those arise in your mind. You think that he or she is supporting now to my enemies. When you see or listen about it, those arise in your mind. Or you think that he or she will support to my enemies in the future. When you think in this way, improper way, those may arise in your mind. What would be the last reason? Sometimes anger or hatred arise without those proper reasons. We would say improper reason. For example, when it's raining, someone get angry. Oh, I can't dry my clothes. When it's hot, sunny day, he say, oh, it's very hot, we can't do anything. Or it's windy day, so it's very windy. So someone collide with climate. Or when someone is going to cook, something happened because of carelessness. Then get angry with fire, or get angry with water, get angry with electricity. Therefore, we should understand how those arise in our mind. Here, just we are discussing, we are addressing gross levels of anger. Later on, we will deepen into subtle levels. There are also some mental factors connected with dosa. In Pali, we call issa. In English, envy or jealousy is the common term. What is the characteristic of the jealousy? If someone has jealous, he or she can't bear up others' success. he or she can't satisfy with others' success. When someone sees others, friends get good marks, or they get some promotions in their office works, or someone develop their family, their business. Those who have jealous cannot bear up. It's like when someone sees others' success, it says that it's like a spiking to that person's eyes. When someone hears about others' success, it's like inserting spikes to that person's ear. So these mental factors may arise in our mind. Main thing, we should try to overcome them as soon as possible. That's the nature of ordinary persons, but we should try to understand these natures and not to do any harm to others because of our unwholesome mental factors. Then I want to address one more mental factor, which is stinginess. In Pali, we call machcharya, avarice. Characteristic is concealing one's own success when it has been or can be obtained. For example, so what we have seen in schools, someone has some good materials, good books, or notes, tutorials. Those who have stinginess doesn't like to share those books or those notes with her or his friends. That's what it called that. Not to be sharing those with others. Not only knowledge, sometimes with our properties, with our goods. When we have this avarice or stinginess, it's like shrinking away. We feel our mind is shrinking from sharing. Suppose when we share our books or our foods with others, we feel very happy, but we are going to not to share it. So when someone want to gain again and again without sharing, it doesn't make our mind happy. So these are the main characteristics that should be understood before we go to the system of overcoming. So just I want to address some psychological levels. I am not a psychologist. Actually, those are the things what we have learned through our teachers. There are 3 systems mentioned in psychology. Among those 3 systems, the first one we call threat system. It can be seen in various angles, sometimes fear, anxiety, rejection, fight or flight mood, disgusting. Actually, this level can be seen even in animals. Then what should be done? There is also called the driving system, mainly forced by sometimes desire or greed, sometimes wholesome desire or unwholesome desire. Then what happened? It's also mentioned that there is a soothing system that can be balanced. So later on, we will discuss about how to develop compassion and loving kindness. Soothing system. So those mental factors are included in soothing system. Just I want to mention that. So these negative emotions are explained in various moods, even in psychology. For Indians, I think Bhagavad Gita is not a new thing. So in Bhagavad Gita, there are 5 natures explained. Among those 5 natures, Dvesha or anger is one of the 5 natures. You can find details in the commentary of the Bhagavad Gita. Just I want to address that. Those mental factors are not only mentioned in our Buddhist text. It was mentioned in other Vedic text, Bhagavad Gita, and also modern psychology. This is our main topic today. 2 moods of enemies. When enemies want to destroy us, they would come in 2 moods. Sometimes they directly, obviously come as enemies. It's like a gross level. For example, those arise in a gross level. For example, when someone blames us, those arise in our mind. Anger arises in our mind. It's obvious for us. We can understand those levels. Next level, there are some enemies. They are very. They have strategies. They are very tricky. They don't come as enemies. First, they approach us as friend. Then they will associate us for a long time. Then they will know our mistakes. They will know our faults. Then what happened? They address and they destroy us with our mistakes. So those are the 2 moods. Obvious enemies and non-obvious enemies. I think you have learned and you have learned in Abhidhamma, especially anger, in obvious level. And in many Dhamma talks, you have learned those obvious levels. Not only obvious level, also we should try to understand those very subtle levels. Because when we know the enemy, this is the enemy, then he approaches us as a friend. Then we can't identify as enemy. We think him or he as she has friend. What happened at the end? He destroys our properties, and sometimes he can kill easily than the obvious enemies. So what are these obvious and non-obvious enemies? Let's try to understand. Yeah, I will try to address these non-obvious enemies. As I mentioned that one of Sri Lankan Abhidhamma scholar, Chandivana Mahathera, mentioned that 4 moods of anger: violence, fear, disgust, and sadness. We know we can identify those arise in a gross level. Now let's try to understand how it arises in a subtle level. In Pali, we call khanti, patience. For example, when someone gives us advice, especially elders give advice to youngers, teachers give advice to students, parents give advice to children. What happened at that time? If we know dosa is not good, then we don't want to struggle with the dosa. But then dosa comes to our mind in a subtle way. What happened? Don't say anything. The person who knows that, oh, it's not good to quarrel with my teachers or my parents, then what happens? He or she does not accept those advices, but he or she think that, oh, I should be patient. But actually, what's the nature? That's the nature of the anger or hatred. When we deepen into our mind mindfully, we can see our mind is burning. If we are patient, our mind doesn't burn. But we say, I don't want to say anything. So now I am a patient one. I should be patient. This is the nature of dosa. In Pali, we call dosa vanchaka Dhamma. They cheat us. Those natures cheat us as wholesome natures. Therefore, we should be very, very mindful to understand those subtle natures. Then let's move to the next level, next mood. Anger as non-cruelty. When we see some powerful person is doing bad thing, is doing evil, then what happens? Non-cruelty, or we call ahimsa, arises in our mind, not actually ahimsa. We think non-cruelty, but it's one side to harm others, to save someone, to harm others. For example, so this is a common example in our country. So when a snake catches a frog, what happened? Someone killed the snake to protect the frog. So those are some natures that manifest as wholesome, but originally they are unwholesome natures. So there is another example, not a real example. There is a story about the vegetarian. You know, vegetarians are very strict on their food. So what happened? They want to spread their vegetarianism. When they are going to city, they explain the benefits of vegetarianism. Also, sometimes they went to slaughtering house to meet butchers, meat shop. That is example, just a story, not a real story. Then what happened? One person, vegetarian, went to meat shop or maybe slaughtering house, asked that, do you stop killing or not? Will you be a vegetarian or not? Then what happened? Butcher replied, I can't be vegetarian. Then what happened? The vegetarian had a pistol, then he shoot. So these are just a story about those natures. Please understand that if we are doing something should be good, but we should try to understand that whether it hurts to others or not. Even in our daily life, sometimes we have seen people doing some oppositions to others, taking one side, but it may hurt to other side. Therefore, we should understand. I don't want to say examples one by one. In our daily life, also we should try to understand that. For example, one more example. Sometimes parents take the side of one child. Then what happens to another child or other siblings? Their emotions are not good. How they feel it. So, according to psychology, parents should try to treat their children evenly, because they are children. They may have the various qualities. Some of them good at studying, good at sporting, but some of them are not good at studying, or some of them are beautiful, some of them are ugly. However, so this is how we try to treat in our home. Otherwise, it will affect their mind. When they become old, it affects their career, their characteristics. Therefore, so we say in our daily life, sometimes we have seen we are learning Abhidhamma in deep level. At the same time, we should try to apply those teachings to our life. I do not say we can't change our negative emotions within one day, but we should try. When we plant a tree, if we expect flowers will blossom tomorrow, and fruits get day after tomorrow, then third day it will ripen. Even though we pray, it would not happen. What should be done? First, we should plant tree in a good soil. And then we should add fertilizer. And we should give it protection. And we should pour water regularly. One day, we will get fruits. Similarly, development of wholesome factors are like planting a fruit tree. Fruits will get one day, but we have to take care of the plant and watering, giving the protection. Similarly, we should be mindful to understand those unwholesome mental factors, and like watering, we have to develop those good mental factors like loving kindness, compassion, those things. Then another mood, so it's not a common, it's those anger as generosity. When own children pass away before their parents, then parents feel sadness. This is not a hatred. Because of their sadness, parents donate their properties to others. Sometimes it may be wholesome. Sometimes it may be the nature of the dosa. So it's not a common actually, but here I want to address the number 4. Dosa is avoiding bad people. Everyone Mangala Sutta. sevanacha balana. We should not associate bad people. So that's Buddha's advice. We accept this advice, but what happens if we blame them? It's not a thing Buddha has advised us. So what's doing because of this nature? Someone says that, so I don't like to associate those bad friends, and I don't like to associate bad monks. Therefore, I don't want to go to those monasteries. I don't want to associate those monks or those priests. Dissociation is good, but the thing is, if we do because of anger and not only stop dissociation, but also continuing blaming again to those bad friends or bad monks on Facebook or whatever social media. Therefore, we should understand that we should avoid the evil person, but not to blame or not to harm them. It may happen for monastic level as well as for lay devotees. Okay, let's move into another level that's we call contentment, apicchata. That's a good quality that should be developed when we practice our spiritual path. When we live with a simple properties, simple possessions, it's admired by the Buddha. But when those arise in our mind, we say, oh, I don't want their support. I can live a simple life. It may arise in children sometimes. When those arise against their parents, they say, oh, I don't want your support. So I would like to live a simple life. Also, it happens with students. Before they get their support from the teachers, then anger arises in their mind. They say, oh, now it's enough. Oh, now I can do myself. So I don't want your support. Also, it may happen for monks. For monks, apicchata or contentment, it's a quality which should be developed, especially for monks, because they should use very few requisites. That's their quality of contentment. That's the nature of contentment. But sometimes monks have a problem with their lay devotees. Then what happens? They say that, so I don't want their support anymore. So I would like to stay a very simple life. If he reflects, although he doesn't change his life, yes, same lifestyle, but for that specific lay devotees, he says that, so I don't want your support. That's the differences between real contentment and the fake contentment appear originally as dosa. Therefore, we should understand those natures. Then another one, in Pali we call mitabhanita. Mitabhanita is a good quality praised by the Buddha. So we should our speaking should be in moderate. We should speak moderately. There are some persons speak a lot, some persons speak a little, some persons speak moderately. Then what happens? Someone does not get support from others. He says that, so I don't want to speak a lot. So it would be better to speak moderately. For example, when you think about our daily life, when something problems happens between siblings or husband and wife, parents and children, and between friends, in a school or in our office, in a home, then what happens? They think that so it should be better to not to speak a lot, because when we are going to speak a lot, it may occur, it may causes to many problems. There may be a reality, but we should be mindful what is underlying nature in our mind. What is the latent nature in our mind? Because of this nature, husband does not speak with his wife for a few days, sometimes for a few weeks. Children do not speak with their parents for a few days. Sometimes friends do not speak with their friends for a long time. This is my character. So they say, this is my character. So that's another thing, I mean. So we should understand whether it's unwholesome or wholesome. If it's wholesome, okay. But this nature may arise in a subtle level of anger. When this nature arises in our mind, please close your eyes and contemplate which nature, whether this is wholesome or not. How I treated before, how I am treating now, and after some days, he or she may treat in the same way as previously. So try to understand these subtle natures. And another one, criticizing evil. So we should not praise evil things. We should not praise evil things. So criticizing evil is good quality, because criticizing means not with the anger mind. So criticism is good in one side. But what happens, for example, if someone says that killing is not good, so that's a criticizing unwholesome nature. But someone says, oh, this person, every time he kills mosquitoes. And for example, taking alcohol is not good. It's unwholesome. So this is the evil nature. This is the evil nature. But if one criticizes the drunkard, so that he always take alcohol, and criticize in this way. Criticizing the people or the person is not the thing that should be done. Criticizing evil is okay, but someone criticizes the people thinking that criticizing the evil thing. And next thing, also we want to address, apachiti kamata means the nature of giving respect or veneration. Sometimes person give the respect to others because of the fear. That's the thing Buddha, that's not a thing Buddha has admired. Why children should respect to their parents? Parents are very helpful to children. They teach from their childhood how to eat, how to walk. They are the first teachers. And they feed them, they teach them, they support them to their education. That's why children should pay respect to parents, not because of fear. So parents should pay attention that if parents try to get respect by threatening, that's not a good attitude. Children should pay respect because of good qualities. Similarly, teachers. Teachers are very helpful to their students. If teachers are trying to get respect by threatening, even though student may respect, but not wholeheartedly, just because of fear. Also, people give respect to the politicians because of fear. That's not the respect given wholeheartedly. Therefore, if someone want to get the respect wholeheartedly, it should not be because of fear. It should be with good qualities. If we need respect, we should try to develop our good qualities. The next two I want to address, that disgusting nature and reflection on impermanence. For example, someone sees a beautiful one, but he or she is his or her enemy. See that, oh, now I have learned Buddhism. So these are nothing, only 32 body parts. So filthy things are so oozing from eyes, nose, and ears. Just only 32 body parts. Hair, body hairs, nails, flesh, skin. Those are the body parts. Those are disgusting body parts. That's correct. But he or she doesn't accept that beauty. That's a reality. Someone developed this meditation we call in Pali Asubha Bhavana, Patikula Bhavana. Yogi understands not only others' body, also his body as unpleasant. But when someone sees beautiful one, who is opponent or enemy, consider them as 32 body parts. This subtle nature that may arise, disgust in nature, but originally hatred or dosa. So I have mentioned many natures, so today I don't have much more time to address all the natures. No, now let's try to understand the techniques to overcome hatred. In Anguttara Nikaya, it's mentioned that there are 7 expectations of enemy. If you get angry, we fulfill those expectations. Please check whether these are correct or not. When you get angry, go in front of your mirror, then see your face. If you had a good makeup, although you have a good makeup, your face is not beautiful. If you have anger, hatred, anxiety, worry, sadness, can you get a good sleep? It's difficult to have a good sleep. If you think you are fortunate, no. And if you worry about those things, if you get anger, it's difficult to be a wealthy person. I don't mean that. So wealthy persons are not angry persons. I mean, if you develop anger, so it's affect to our business. You can understand with next two things. People don't like to associate hot-tempered person. If you are hot-tempered one, if you get angry, your friends would leave you. You not be a famous one. So it affects your business and affect your wealthy also. What is the final one? First six are disadvantages in this life. Seventh one is because of anger. It caused to reborn in a hell, life after death. Then focus. When anger arises in our mind, try to focus. They are good behaviors. For example, in your home, you may arise anger against your children because of their bad natures, bad behaviors. Even though think they are good behaviors, because they are not completely bad. They have some good behaviors. They have good bodily behaviors. They have good verbal behaviors or mental behaviors. For example, someone commit bad things bodily, but speaks very softly. So I don't have time to explain in detail. So try to see some positive natures in their life, positive behaviors. If someone is very, very bad one, try to develop compassion. And also, as a Buddhist, we believe karma and its results. If someone commits evil deeds, although we advise, he continues his evil deeds, we have to think that is his own karma. We don't want to engage with his karma. If he done good karma, it will give good results for us. If he would do bad karma, it would give bad results to him, not for us. Therefore, try to understand own karma. And also try to reflect great teachers, that means Buddha's spiritual path with Jataka stories. This for Buddhists, so not for others, they can contemplate how Jesus developed, spread loving kindness, love to others. Also, we can contemplate how our Bodhisattva developed loving kindness while he was practicing parami perfections. When he was a great elephant, one hunter shooted with poisonous arrow, even though elephant wanted to protect him. Also in Sankapala Jataka story, hunter catch the naga, or we call dragon, divine dragon, dragging. It's very painful to a bodhisattva. Bodhisattva had capacity. He would be able to kill within few seconds. But he developed loving kindness. So there are many Jataka stories. If you can't calm down your mind, think about our great teacher, how he developed his loving kindness throughout his career. And reflecting the simile of two-handled sword. It's a famous sutta we call Kakachupma Sutta. Buddha has mentioned that if you are my disciple, you should not get anger even though robbers cut your limbs with two-handled sword. If you get anger, you are not my disciple. Why did Buddha say that? Think, at that time, if you get anger, you will reborn in a hell or woeful state. But these robbers will listen Dhamma in future and they will be a good person. What happened? Because of your anger, it affects you. That's why Buddha has given those similes, because of great compassion. And contemplate 32 body parts. If you get angry with others, contemplate. Not with anger, just with pure mind. Why should I get angry? Those are just 32 body parts. Head hair, body hair, nail, flesh, skin, etc. And contemplate elements. Even though we say some name persons, we can't find a person. Just 4 great elements. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. Earth element, water element, air element, and fire element. And finally, donate something to enemy. This is not only for enemy. Suppose something happened in your family. Wife should try to give some desserts to husband. Husband should try to give new cloth, new dress, or new jewelry to wife. Or something happened with children and parents. Try to give some gift. Then their anger will go away, drive away. Not only for enemies. So in our daily life, we should try to develop this loving kindness. Finally, what I have seen my rector teacher in our university, explain to develop mudita or appreciative joy towards ourselves, our family, our teachers. We don't have much more time, but I will take a few more minutes to contemplate. Just close your eyes and just try to contemplate our previous, our success from the beginning. I could see this explanation given by this same type of meditation given by Swami Tadatmananda, also our rector Sayadaw, highlights this type of developing positive mentalities. Just think about. So I mix those two methods. Just close your eyes. Try to go to your childhood. Think about how you studied, how you succeed, your education, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 5, grade 10, grade 11, to high school, college, and university. Then you will get some promotions. Try to contemplate your success. Don't think about your fails. Just only think about your success. And try to contemplate how your parents supported you. You can go to your childhood. How did they feed you? How did they wash your clothes? How your mom prepare foods? How your father support you? Try to contemplate only the success, not the negative things. Without your father or mother, can you gain this success? Think about how you are fortunate, how you are blessed. Think about your teachers. How did they teach you? Without their support, are you be able to gain this success? Think about your boss. How did you get promotions? Now think about good occasions such as your birthday or your graduation, promotions, weddings, wedding ceremony. Husband and wife are very happy. So try to maintain that same happiness throughout your life. This is not a meditation method to gain jhana, just to develop our positive emotions. When you have time, please try to practice this meditation, contemplating your success. How did your parents support you? How did your teachers, siblings, relatives, friends support you? Without their support, you can't gain that success. Think that, how am I blessed? This is just guidance to develop this type of positive emotions. Today we have, open your eyes. Today we have discussed the nature of hatred in the gross level and subtle level, and how to overcome, how to maintain this dosa and also jealousy and stinginess. If you have time, yes, you have time for ask the questions. I think maybe for 10 minutes.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Respected Bhanteji, you have explained this discourse with great compassion and in a manner that is very simple, clear, and easy to understand. Many heartfelt blessings to you from all of us. For this gift of Dhamma, given with faith and compassion, we offer our deepest gratitude to you. Respected Bhanteji, if you permit, can we have a 10-minute question answer session?
Sure.
Um, you may ask any questions if you have.
Please raise the hand.
So one has raised hand. No?
Namo Buddhaya.
So I'm not good at Hindi. But just I can read some Sanskrit only.
Namaste, Bhanteji. Hello. Good morning.
I can hear you.
Yeah, my name is Bini. My question is basically, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, my question is like sometimes when we are in a working environment and we have to deal with different types of people, and some people are very amicable. They work really well with us, but some really don't like us, especially if you're very efficient in doing things and quickly, and they don't like to do things faster and quicker. So because of that, there is a kind of a strife and struggle. So they do not talk to you properly, or a kind of jealousy develops. So how to handle those situations and those kind of people in our life?
As I mentioned that there are some persons, those who have good bodily behaviors, those who have good verbal behavior, those who have good mental behavior. Some persons are very, very bad. No? So even though when we want to make friendship with them, they are not good. So they do not have those positive natures. They always try to find others' mistakes. So actually, it's very difficult to handle with them. No, however, I'm not a psychologist. What I'm seeing according to Buddhism, Buddha has mentioned that we have to develop compassion towards them. Because if we get anger, it affects us. For example, if you want to hurt someone else, you get charcoal, no? You get charcoal. What happens first? It burns your hand. Similarly, if you get anger towards those bad ones, it affects us. Therefore, we should try to develop compassion towards them. Although we are trying to make them good, they always commit bad deeds. That's their karma. They will reborn in woeful states because of their bad karma. In the same way, we should try to develop compassion, but not to, I think, sometimes when we engage with them, it's very hard situation, difficult to handle with them. So that's what Buddha has mentioned, to develop compassion. And also, if we can't handle with them, better not to associate them. That's why Buddha mentioned two options. How can we associate bad friends? If you are capable enough if you can bear up their negative natures, if you want to make them good persons with kindness, that should be our intention. If you are not capable enough, better not to associate them. So if we associate them, our intention should be to make them better than previously. And also what I have experienced, so if you develop loving kindness towards for a long period, sometimes we can change their mind. Not always, sometimes. So I know some stories. So I will tell one of my teachers' story. There was in meditation center, one of our teacher's teacher, he's good meditation teacher. So one monk came to meditation. So he practices meditation, inside meditation started. Then there's another elder monk. He always blamed to others. Then what happened? Other monk get angry with him. Then then what happened one day, he couldn't bear up it. Then he blamed to that elder monk. Then what happened? Meditation teacher changed his meditation technique and told to develop loving kindness towards that elder monk. Then what happened after some period? In our Buddhism, so usually younger monks should respect to elder monks, no? What happens after some months, I think, elder monk came to that younger monk's room with foods after some period. So it happens because of loving kindness. It's very difficult in the beginning. So therefore, don't try to develop loving kindness in the very beginning. First, how should we develop loving kindness? First, we should develop loving kindness to our respected teacher. After that, our beloved one. It should be female to female, male to male, and it should be alive, not the dead person. After that, medium one. Finally, we develop loving kindness to our enemy. Therefore, if you try to develop loving kindness in the beginning to your enemy, so it's a very irritating experience to you. It's very difficult to handle. You feel hurt. You feel pain in your heart. So that's how our meditation methods and techniques mention that. I don't know whether it's clear or not. I think it's enough.
Yeah. Thanks for your advice, Bhante. Namo Buddhaya. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Shall we share merits by reciting our stanza? Shall we share merits to Devas, Nagas, relatives, those who expect merits by reciting stanzas? Idam me jnatinam hotu sukhita huntu jnatayo. Idam me jnatinam hotu sukhita huntu jnatayo. Idam me jnatinam hotu sukhita huntu jnatayo. Ittavata cemamehi sambhatam punya sampadam. Sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cemamehi sambhatam punya sampadam. Sabbe bhutāmanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cemamehi sambhatam punya sampadam. Sabbe sattamanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha ca bhummattha devānaga mahiddhika. Puññantam anumoditva chiran rakkhantu sambuddha sāsanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devānaga mahiddhika. Puññantam anumoditva chiran rakkhantu sambuddha desanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devānaga mahiddhika. Puññantam anumoditva chiran rakkhantu sambuddha savake chiran rakkhantu mamparam. Blessing for all. अभिवादनशीलिस्स नित्यं उद्धापचायिनो चत्तारो धम्मा वर्धन्ति आयुवन्नो सुखं बलम् आयुरारोग्य संपत्ति सर्ग संपत्तिमेव च अथो निब्बान संपत्ति विनाते समिच्छतु सुखी हो तो निब्बान
साधु
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 साधु